This stupid looking diary is actually a bank book. I hate wasting quality pages or even just basic notebooks that are just too cute. So my drafts end up becoming full-blown art. And I hate when that happens, so I feel that a bank book is ugly enough to allow me the freedom of actually wasting pages. This is what I used to think up the prompts. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, so I began from the first prompt, and later in the days when I had more time, I planned up the other prompts as well. I had to deal with a myriad of assignments from my university, as well as my declining health, as well as my sadness to get through October. As you now know, it was not an easy month. The quality of this video is pretty bad, so I hope you stick around until the days I can actually shoot this stuff on a decent camera. Those days shall really be something. But since I don't have an audience right now, and I'm definitely talking in a void that has crickets chirping around, I think it doesn't really matter yet. Those were my seriously ugly, seriously embarrassing draft for the prompt. So let's get to the real thing. Okay, so first prompt, fish. I've been seriously inspired by Junji Ito's Uzumaki. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, please don't kill me. Anyway, it's a comic which is based entirely and completely around spirals. I wanted to see if I could actually create a spiral, but with fish. I don't know if I succeeded. Did I? I don't know. It looks nice, so I'm happy. Next, we have wisp. I definitely was going to draw a shisha or a hookah and be done with it, but then I found this super cool reference and I went with it. This Japanese basically translates to sweet smoke. I use Google Translate. I don't know if it's right. It's just for the aesthetics, people. Just for the aesthetics. And then here's the cutest of all, Toroto for Bulky. Super cute. I love him. Studio Ghibli is awesome. Next we have radio. This is one of my favorites. The general idea I wanted to base this around was that I used to sit in the dark at times back in 2015, and I would sit in a complete pitch black, and at 5 p.m. sharp, our local radio station would play Radioactive by Imagine Dragons, and I loved that. It's still one of my best moments in life. So I wanted to just show someone completely absorbed in the stereo, and I made it like this, with these floaty clouds that I like to think is the power of music consuming or something. And there's the radio, and old styled. I don't even know if you can plug in earphones in those, but it would have been really hard to understand the prompt if not for them. Next, blade. And straight up, I thought Samurai Jack. I was actually binge watching it again around the time, and I was like, yes. So there's Jack, there's Aku, there's fire. That's the time wormhole that Aku throws Jack into. I put it underneath his feet so it can sort of represent that he has conquered that challenge. Then we have Rodin. This was super cute, kind of creepy too. I didn't realize that there was an actual prompt for the trap too. I would have saved this one for that. But yeah, I wanted to show how a wild rodent has to deal with danger every moment of their lives basically. Day 7 was fancy, and I had absolutely no clue what I was supposed to do with this. I was surfing Pinterest, I was brainstorming, thinking on what I find fancy myself, and my initial idea was to show something shiny in between palms, something small, something simple. But then I was surfing Instagram, and Avize, one of my favorite traditional jewelry page, just posted this picture, and I thought, that's fancy, why the heck not? So I decided I will put in a mad ton of details in this. I had so much fun with this, absolute favorite. Day 8, teeth. I was initially going with Nux because I love Mad Max and I love Nux. So I was going to show him with his glorious silver spray teeth, but then I thought of the virus, and then I thought of these cool Japanese masks, the one Zuko wears in this. I don't know what they're called, so I went with that. For day 9, I went very simple. Just a girl throwing herself down in the void. Fun stuff. For Hope, I was actually mad at this prompt because Hope is so cheesy. But just the night before, I was feeling super down and I watched Rango at 2 a.m. and I thought this entire movie is the best representation of hope you can get. I love this movie. I've watched it a million times. It'll never get old. So here's Rango with his torch, looking confused but trying to be brave. And I give the title a little bit of aesthetics. I used to draw this kind of log all damn day on my school desk with a correction pen, and I would write in whatever song was my favorite at the time. Don't vandalize, kids. My school was shit, but yours probably isn't. So day 11, disgusting. I couldn't think of much. Pinterest wasn't giving me inspiration. It instead gave me a lot of unmentionables, which was honestly scarring. So I had even more trouble after that. Terrible experience. I didn't want to draw Davy Jones. I didn't want to draw someone picking their nose. In the end, I went with the idea that we are very sensitive in nature, and so we end up thinking wrong about ourselves. I guess this piece speaks for itself, that at times there are definitely when we are very disappointed in ourselves and we end up calling ourselves disgusting and we want to hide. So here's someone with a paper bag over her head, tearing at it in hope to let go of such negative thinking. And day 12, slippery. I wanted to make someone slip on banana peel, but didn't go with my style, so instead I drew a girl with her eyeball falling off. It doesn't get any darker than this, I guess. Maybe this. Day 13, Dune. For this year's Inktober, I was very inspired by John Kohinoor's work, who was the original illustrator for the book Dune, which also has a movie now with Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya, of course. So I just made that sand monster and all fun. Day 14, armor. This is my favorite. It took a ton of my time to detail this thing, but my god, I love it. This was so dope. One of my favorite works yet. Day 15, Output. This was inspired by Patrick Ness's book More Than This. I always think of the book like this, like you're suspended in a world that's not yours. You can see yours, you can feel it, but you're very separated from it. Kind of like that. I had fun with these clouds. It was fun. It was a quick doodle. I think it took around an hour doing this, while the other took a lot of time. Day 16. On this day, I was very sick with fever, flu, the whole package. I was sick for 4 whole days, so I had to think of smaller pieces. So it's rockets zipping by. Day 17 was Storm. I was initially going to make something like this, but then Japanese sea dragons came to mind. Yay! So of course it had to be that. I mean, what's cooler than Japanese sea dragons? Come on. 18th was time. I had this idea instantly that I wanted to show someone trapped in time. I was thinking of Samurai Jack as well, but then I realized that this would be a more fun representation of that concept. So just a girl with her pen writing in her journal. Day 19th was Dizzy. I hated this prompt with a passion. I did not want to do it. I was actually contemplating skipping this one. But I told myself, commitments. So then in the end I drew a ballerina with the idea that she has conquered the Disneyland. Ha! The lamest, the worst, I hate it. Let's move on. Day 20, Coral. Just a queen of coral. This was really fun to detail. It's also one of my favorites. I don't think many people will like this one because it's very visually strong in a way, but I love it. Day 21 was Sleep. Sleep is lonely. I titled it like this. It is. I mean, I don't like sleep. It's a necessity you have to have, or you become a bitch. I just feel that going to sleep is actually sort of brave. You let go completely to fall into this void, and you get to meet weird people, weird worlds that you won't even remember. So yeah, I don't like sleep. I mean, I like dreaming. I like nightmares even. But I don't like the idea of sleep and wasting my time. Like, I want to experience this life as much as I can, you know? I'm very basic. So that was the general idea around this one. Day 22 was Chef. And of course, it had to be Mads Nielsen version of Hannibal. I love the show, the passion. I just do not have ability to spell out. I love this character. I love the darkness of it. Everything was perfect. It makes me sound really creepy probably that I like a show as dark as that. You have the time to vacate. Go save yourselves. Day 23, RIP. I couldn't think of much around this prompt. I went with this concept that there is a rip in time. It is basically seeing several worlds at a time, kind of like the worlds are intermixing or something, kind of. It was fun to do. This one was actually featured as well on an ink art page. I was very happy. Day 24 was Buddy. Straight up, I thought of two kids in a window. So this is two kids in their window waiting for class to start. Day 25th was Dig. I had trouble. I had so much trouble. Other than shovels or funerals, I could not think much. I came up with the idea that someone is digging through his past, so kind of reliving his memories. So I came up with this thumbnail, and it's a lady, not a guy, but it wasn't really working for me. Then I saw a picture of an old man on social media, and I thought, voila, old man digging through time. What could be better? So there's some boxes with stuff. There's a bird on his shoulder and he's holding a small clock with a sad expression. It was a very dear piece, also one of my favorites. It's so cute. Day 26 was Hide. I like to hide. At times when I feel overwhelmed, I actually darken my room and just sit in silence. I'm a bit of an introverted weirdo, so for this, I had a concept of creating boundaries, that you need to distance yourself at times, you create borders to hide. So this was basically that. I'm definitely going to make a painting in the future with this concept in mind. Day 27th was music. I went with MTV because I associate with music with nostalgia. My favorite band is Beach House and they are packed with nostalgia. So I was thinking nostalgia when MTV came to mind. It was a grand time, 2003 to 2006. My family enjoyed music and the videos back then weren't so vulgar. So you could watch MTV without stress with your family back then. Ha, what is happening to this world, man? Day 28, float. I thought of swimming, of course, but then I went with this. It's also how I would represent sleep, floating in the dark. Day 29th was shoe. Shoes are often the last thing we wear on as we are leaving our homes. I wanted to sort of show that. Nothing special. This one turned out pretty cool too. Day 30th was ominous. I wanted to go surreal with this piece and I went with this. The moon is leaking, guys. It's leaking. This is a definite favorite of mine. I love it. You can tell I was super inspired by the Japanese for this year's Inktober. But their clothes are so cool, man. How could it not be? Finally, we have crawl. Other than worms, I could not think of much, so I went with the wolf crawling, kind of dual crawl. I don't know, you tell me. All in all, that was my Inktober 2020, all of it. I had so much fun. It's probably the most consistent I've ever been with art in my entire life, and it inspired me to create a lot. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you were inspired to create yourself. I hope you're all doing well. I will see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Thank you so much and peace. Also, it will really help me if you could just like this video, comment, subscribe, share, everything, because I am currently a small channel and it's really hard to beat the algorithm of YouTube. So please, I will really appreciate it. Thank you so much again and I'll see you later. Goodbye.